We do a lot. We do more than that, but that's how we got
Sure.
started.
Sure. So, and you're just distributing, you're getting these and selling them. So, then what happened? Like, and what was the next shift for that?
Okay, so that's all we're doing really is we're getting these and we're distributing them, and what we didn't realize when we started was our pricing was better than everybody else's. So the next thing I know, our business is growing, and we actually struggled at first because our price was too low, and so people said, well, you must have a junk O-ring because your price is low. Well, I didn't realize in the oil field there are lots of things that are way marked up beyond what they should be. And
Right.
I mean, I guess maybe they mark them up because you got to make money while it's good, so you have money while it's like it is today. But that's a different discussion. So we started doing that, and then someone will say, "Hey, can you get this part?" Or "Hey, can you get that part? Can you get me this metal thing or this plastic thing?" And so we started working on how do we source that. So we were actually starting. We were officing when we started. That I had everything that NAS owned in I think it's about a 1,600 square foot little office building. And so we would make these kits, and a kit is, several different sizes of O-ring in a metal part or a plastic part in a bag that we sell to somebody. And so we made all those things, and we started in this little 1,500 square foot space, 1,600 square foot space, and then we outgrew that. So we got a little more space, and we outgrew that. We got a little more space, and then I guess about 3 years ago, I was sitting outside and thought, Lord, I'd really like to be able to manufacture our own parts. Because what I realized was when you're a distributor, when I'm buying from a distributor, they're buying it from somebody else and
Right.
they're marking it up. Somebody else is selling it to them and they're marking it up. And then they're selling it to me, and there's a markup to me. And then I'm selling it to the customer and there's a markup to them. Well, we didn't have the ability to manufacture anything, but I thought that would be really cool one day to be able to manufacture something. So I cut all those steps out. And yeah, so that was about 3 years ago,
Yep.
and we're running out of space. We had to have a new building because the space we're in literally wouldn't hold us. So we had everybody's office had product stacked in it, and so people are running around like crazy trying to figure out what office is this in and where did this
Right.
go, and we had this big mess going. And I know we've got to have another building. So I prayed about it, and I really was asking God, like, where are we supposed to go, and how do we get there? And I looked at buildings and looked at buildings and looked at buildings and never found one. So finally, one day, this may be more information than you wanted, but the Lord asked me to give someone a raise. So I gave them a raise, and as soon as I did it, I really kind of felt this release, and like the Lord saying, "Hey, I'll show you what the building is." Well, the building that we saw, I loved it. It was great. It was 21,000 square feet, and I think we had about 5,000 square feet at the time. So when we moved into this building, I thought, my gosh, we'll never fill this thing. It's huge. And the interesting thing about this building was that what I needed to become a manufacturer, the dream that I talked about with the Lord in the summer, this was the only building that we looked at that had the power infrastructure to make it happen.
Wow.
Because the big machines, they run on a different power than just you plug it into the wall kind of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, so that's how we got started. And that was a big shift for us. And then in it would have been January of 2018.
Yep.
I kind of thought, man, God, I want to start. I want to get a machine so I can make my own parts. And I thought maybe by the end of that year we'd have one. And we had this miraculous thing. This machine just fell in our lap. So by the end of the first week of January, we had our first machine in our machine shop, and we've just started adding to them since then.